It's Mortal Kombat time! Dun 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 dun. Fight! We're gonna have a look at the Storm Collectibles Kung Lao. I don't know what happened just there. I had the song playing in my head all the time and talk about Mortal Kombat. This is Mortal Kombat 2 Kung Lao design, by the way. They don't specify that, they just say Mortal Kombat. But it doesn't matter. I feel like this is one of the most essential entries in the line because we gotta have them Shaolin Monks. And what I think it's super weird though that we're getting Kung Lao before Liu Kang, but that's Storm Collectibles for you, going all across the board, releasing whatever they want, whenever they want it. And without further ado, let's have a look at the figure. Kung Lao stands at about 17, a little over 17 centimeters to the top of his head, 17 and a half almost. And for your inches, that means we are going up to 7 inches. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter, the SH Figure Arts Son Goku, Storm Collectibles Evil Ryu, NECA Michelangelo, and Darkseid. For your overall look in detail, I mean, first things first, the face sculpt. I'm not in love with it. I think it looks kind of weird. However, in the game, his face was mostly obscured by the hat. And the other thing, I have a picture of the original actor portraying Kung Lao in the game, Anthony Marquez, which, you know, there's some likeness to it. Obviously, they didn't want to go full force and potentially get sued for taking his likeness. So I guess it's alright, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, it's nice and detailed. Look at the eyes. There's not much more to say about it, because honestly, I'm just going to put the hat on that and not really care about it. Then, you also feel like he has a little bit of a thick neck. Well, that might just be because of his narrow chin, but overall, yeah, it looks good. And then another small issue I have with the figure, and that's his vest. As you can tell, his vest is standing off on the sides, and I tried moving it, I tried pulling it down, and I tried just readjusting it, I tried pulling the shoulders up, and whatever I do, the vest is still sticking up like that. So first, either they should have just done the vest a little bit smaller, or they should have connected it to the shoulders with a part over here, and then it would have worked. I might glue it on, I haven't figured that out yet, but yeah, that's another thing. However, the paint job on this figure, at least, is very good. You got the symbol on the front, which has a nice red, and is very clean. And then you have like also the line work in his gi under the vest. The black lines that go around it do look pretty good. I don't really have any issues with that. On his arms, on his forearms that is, he has his metal kind of shin pads, which you do have a nice little metal effect. It's not metallic per se, but it does look good. It does look pretty decent, very cleanly executed. And then you have some more line work on the side of his pants, which just kind of ends over here, but I did look at some artwork of the character, and it does seem to be like that. It doesn't really close all the way to the back, so, you know, that's fine. And the other thing is, like, I don't know how well you can see it under the camera, but they did seem to apply some dry brushing to the pants, because there are some parts which are a little bit brighter. Here you see like a stripe, which I think is like a little bit of silver, a little bit of grayish, kind of applied just a little bit to the tips over here. Well, the tips, like the parts where the pants kind of lift up a little bit more. And, you know, it's nice. I appreciate that, even though you don't really see that much. But hey, it is in there, and that they did like the little bit of extra effort is always appreciated. And there's also seems to be a little bit of dry brushing in his boots, because again, you do see a little bit of like little clouds here and there. Like, I think again, it's just a little bit of silver, and obviously it doesn't really stand out that much on the black, but it is there, and it's cool, so I appreciate that. For articulation, it is the standard Storm stuff. You have a ball and another on the pack that goes into the neck. So the head itself just only has some wiggle motion, just some decent stuff, but then you combine it with the neck, goes forward very nicely to the back, tail side to side, really have to give it a good push, and also rotates all the way around in there with a ugly noise. Then you have the shoulder articulation, which you have on the ball, so you can rotate it in there. Also use it as a swivel, and you still have the hinge that can bring it up and down. Bicep swivel, double hinged elbow goes all the way up, and the fist is on another ball hinge, so you can bring that back and forth no problemo. Use it as a swivel. Also, this piece is just also off. This piece, you could slide it off. You can slide it off. There it is. So if that gets in the way, you can move it around and play around a little bit with it. The chest area is very nimble. It's obviously a little bit blocked by the vest, but I guess since the vest is so big, you can still get some good rotation out of it. To the front, to the back, side to side. The hip part, same thing, is nice and nimble back and forth. Also can obviously rotate it. I mean, the chest area you could as well, but it's kind of hard to do with the vest. That will definitely block that. For the legs, goes forward nicely out to the side. Actually, this is soft plastic, but since the puffy legs are so big, yeah, it kind of stops over there. That's unfortunate. Goes to the back also a little bit, and then has a swivel, well, not really swivel, but rotates on the ball over there. Then you have the double hinged knees, which they look okay, I guess. Again, big puffy pants, always a problem. You have a swivel on the boot, actually, which doesn't break up the sculpt. It looks nice. And then the foot is on another ball hinge, goes back forward, and does tilt side to side. And finally, you also have a toe hinge, which is frozen, but there you go. I don't like toe hinges. So for your accessories, let me start with the most important part, and also the part I have a little bit of a gripe with. It's the head. Now, it fits very nicely on his head, but the main problem I have with it, it's, look at it, it's angled. It's not straight, and it is kind of hard plastic, so I mean, I will try to bend it into shape, heat it up a little bit with a hairdryer, and try to make it go straight. Yeah, that's not accurate, and it also kind of fails at covering his face, which the games usually is how he is portrayed. Speaking of which, he has a constipating face, which just... Again, it's nice and detailed, but boy, oh boy, does it look ugly. It reminds me of... I actually forgot the name of the game. Anyway, you have another energy effect with the head connected to it, and again, props that they're doing it like this and not having this energy effect and having to weirdly clamp it onto the regular hat. Then for the hands, you got like the grabby hands, booby grab hands for like obviously fighting game poses, just like generally fighting poses, and the grabby hands to hold on to the head. I always mispronounce that, I feel like. And I would say chop hands, but again, there's a little bit of a space area for, let's see, slide this in, yeah. For this stuff, obviously the energy effect. And then finally you got like the extra pieces. This is the blood splatters, which I assume you just slide into here, other side actually. Slide it into here, then you have a nice effect, and you just put it onto another opponent, and you got just go slice. Very cool idea, looks good. And finally, you have a rabbit with red eyes. Doesn't have a, well, does have a tail. Weirdly angled tail, but you know, yeah. The rabbit looks kind of horrifying, but also it's kind of funny. So this is because of the friendship, by the way, where he pulls the rabbit out of the hat. Friendship. And before we get to the final thoughts, I just want to give you a close-up of the complete look with the hat on his head. And as you can tell, like I'm saying, it doesn't look right with this thing. It really needs to be angled down a lot more. And is it just me, or is it a little bit too big for his head? But still, I mean, the strap fits on there very nicely, and it's on there very tightly. There's no issue with that. So let's move on to the final thoughts. So, final thoughts for this guy. I know I have like just very, very small issues with like the vest, the head, and like the face sculpt, but overall, these small issues don't really matter that much when you still have a very solid package with this figure. As I said, the articulation with Storm is always great. The paint job on this one is also very good. I don't really talk about the muscle work anymore because I've gotten a little bit numb to it, because Storm Collectibles just does excellent muscle work, so I kind of forget to talk about these things, but yeah. I do recommend this one if you want to collect, if you want to complete your Mortal Kombat collection. This is definitely something to get, and even if not, it's still a solid figure with some small issues. That's gonna do it. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Kung Lao wants.